Hello guys, now there's this new trick a lot of landlords are now using to give house contracts to people here in Italy. So please, for those of you that want to rent a house here, before you sign that contract, make sure you check and make sure that this thing is not inside that contract. Or for those of you that have already signed a house contract, you should also please go and check that your contract to make sure that this thing that I want to explain now that is not inside that contract, because this thing is already giving a lot of people problem here in Italy. Just this week, two people have called me. Somebody also called me this morning. That is why I'm coming out to do this video again, so that we'll be vigilant. Now, if you want to rent a house here in Italy, how does it normally work? You see the house that you want to rent, that you approach the agent that is giving you that house, or the landlord. So they will give you 4 years contract or 2 years contract, depending on the type of contract that you people agree on. So normally you take that contract, you now take to commune, you do your residence, do for your wife, your children, if you have children, or if you are a single person, you can use that to do residence. For anybody that you want to do residence for, what is important that that house have enough space to carry that the amount of residence that you want to do. Maybe you can do residence for 5 people. That's what the house can carry. You can go to commune and do for those 5 people. So some landlord now discover that some of us are abusing this process. At times you do for one Ghana guy, you do for one Sierra Leone guy, you do for one Senegal guy, you do for one Igbo guy in one same house. You just do resident for so many random people. So because of that, some landlords have decided to change their tactics. So what they now do now is that before they give you contract of house, some of them inside that contract, they will specify the amount of people that can do resident or that can stay in that house. So some landlord can tell you they'll give you contract. Inside that contract, they'll also write it that this house, it is only 2 people that can stay in this house. So if you go, if you do not check it well, like the case of the guy that called me this morning, I did not even know they wrote 4 people. So he just signed a contract, and now he have a family of about 5. He's now having problem with the house contract. So some landlord will just write 2 people. So you go take that contract to commune, you do residence for yourself, you do for your wife. If you now want to do for the third person, you start having problem. So if you go to the commune again and do idonita the allojo will be telling you that this particular house can take 7 people. But you'll be fighting the commune. But if this house can take 7 people, and why is commune not allowing me to do for the third person? Some commune cannot reveal it to you that it is because the contract of the house, the landlord of the house said, this contract I'm giving to you, you cannot use it to take more than 2 people. So it will be in the commune computer like that. So even if you take the third person, then it will not accept. Although this is not a new trick, it has been like that before, but most landlords don't add this to contract. But because of the way that some of us now behave, some landlord they now add it into that contract now. So if you don't know, even a very close relative, a blood relative, very very close to me, also had the same issue. She had to go and do resident for her 2 children in another place. Before she now called me, we now have to go and take a lawyer. The lawyer was now able to convince the landlord of that house. Then they changed the contract before she was able to do resident for her 2 children. I know some of you that love to argue. It's a lie. Children can always enter even if the house is full. I'm telling you from my own personal experience, from somebody that I know, if they could not do resident for the children. So you should also open your eyes. Not just resident. I also gave somebody a house here, and the person wanted to go and put something in his garage. He discovered that the garage is locked. Then he called me, this house that I just rented, how come the garage is locked? Then I called the landlord, because I know the landlord was the one that gave the person that house. And the landlord said no, that he gave the person the house, he did not add the garage to it. I said, but the person that was there before that just left used to use the house and the garage together. The landlord says yes, but this new contract, he decided to also remove the garage from the contract. So they can even give you contract and say, okay, this house is a 3 bedroom flat, but there is garage. You can see the garage, but the garage will be removed from the contract if you are not so careful. Then I asked him why. He said because he discovered that a lot of Nigerians, once we give them house, they will put a lot of load, television, fridge, washing machine, everything. They will load the garage. When they now want to park out, they will park out. They will leave that garage. It is the landlord that will now start looking for how to park those things, which is true. I have also experienced. I have also personally paid 70 euro to a Senegal man to help me park a load in a garage in a house that I gave somebody some years ago. It was from that day I called the landlord and I said, please don't ever call me again that your house is free. If your house is free, you want to give it out, go to a house agent. They will put it. Was that day I got angry because the person parked out from the house. He messed up the garage. Because the relationship between me and the landlord, I have to go there personally and I paid that 70 euro from my own pocket. So some landlords, they are also learning from the way some of us behave. I'm not saying the landlord are 100% also good. They also have their own negative side. So please, if you are signing any contract, make sure you understand what you are signing, because that is where all the conditions are stated. How many people that can have residence there? Some landlord can specify it, but if they not specify it, it is their lodger. When you do the donata, their lodger that will tell you this house based on the size and everything can take 7 people. Then you'll be able to do residence for 7 people. But if it is specified in the contract, that contract will override the allotment that you want to do. So it is that what is written in that contract that the commune will respect. So if they also remove garage, even if you are seeing garage with your koro eye, it is not in the contract, you will not be able to use that garage. If there's parking space here, the parking space was removed from the contract, you might not also be able to use that parking space. So a lot of now they are now learning, so they are now adding a lot of things into house contract before they give it to you. So let's be vigilant. If you want to sign any house contract, make sure you go there with somebody that understands Italian language. They will be able to help you read it. I know because house is very difficult now for us to get. Some of us were in haste. We just want to sign it and be happy. So we don't take time to look what is inside that contract. And don't also forget to please use Taptap Send. That happens to be the best app everybody are now using to send money to Nigeria with the highest exchange rate. If you put my promo code Heroes TV, they will dash you €5 in your first transaction. Whether you are sending €5, you are sending €10, you are sending any amount that you are sending, they will dash you €5 in your first transaction. Thank you and God bless you.